Palestinian state, is it? If people can come in and take your homes and all the rest of it.
So when you were actually there for the 3 months that you were there, what did you actually see? What was it like?
I would say that you see the best and absolute worst of humanity, you know. I mean, I learned a lot about myself and learned what they call sumud, which means steadfastness. And you learn a lot about being steadfast and finding the joy in the most awful circumstances. Like I remember at times at Youth Against Settlements, we'd always have a fire each night and we'd be like singing songs, chatting and stuff like that, and you know, and they'd laugh, they'd love life, despite living in a terrible situation where settlers at any moment can come and do anything really. They can walk around with rifles, even teenagers walking around with rifles. Palestinians having a stone in their hand is enough to get them arrested. Shot. Yeah, and shot. Well, shot. Yeah, exactly. But I think, you know, but you see, like I saw a settler try to run over a 3-year-old and 18-month-old child. When I was there, I managed to grab the 3-year-old and the father grabs the 18-month-old. You know, where I had been just like a short time before, they shot an unarmed father dead, let him bleed out on the floor. You just see the total humiliation of the Palestinians on every conceivable way. They humiliated everything, like when they go through like the checkpoint, you know, like they're made to undo their trousers and pull up their tops and go around and pull up their things, even though they've been through a metal detector and this, that and the other, and this is in their area.
So it's more about humiliating them than what it is security. Yeah.
Absolutely. And like the children, because they've totally strangled their economy. They're the children, you know, often many of the families who live in abject poverty rely on the World Food Programme to give out food, although that funding got cut actually since 2018. But also there was another, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's an area, it's like
I'm not scared of you, Oppa.
Fred, only for my camera.
I'm not scared of your camera at all.
For my camera.
I just feel like I get far too much attention.
כל האנרכיסטים שמציקים לחיילי צה"ל מגיעים לסיורים ששוברים שתיקה ותתמון. מדהים.
Just keep going, guys.
מדהים.
Just go around. Just keep moving.
תגיד לי, אבנר, כל האנרכיסטים שמציקים פה כל בוקר לחיילי צה"ל, זה מה שאתה לוקח לסיור בחברון? אתה לא מתבייש? אתה לא מתבייש? שוברים שתיקה, להביא את כל האנרכיסטים שמציקים לנו פה?
Our side one who said, like, they stop us, we get harassed, they take our passport and photograph our passport. They say, we'll make sure you're never going to come into our land again. I remember that every single border into the West Bank is controlled by Israel.
Yeah.
So you can't fly into Palestine or go into Palestine
without
going through it. Yeah. So Israel controls all their borders. And, you know, I had one guy who was always screaming at me, like I said, one who would spit on the floor when he saw me.
For being a witness? For being a witness?
Yeah, just for being a witness. Because they perceive you as an enemy and you're just, you know. So that was, and the settlers in general were just, you know, they would hate you. You were like, I don't know, a devil's spawn or something to them. Like, Offa would come and harass us all the time, cameras in our face.
Did you ever feel unsafe? That's probably a stupid question, but did you ever think that...
I think that...
So Offa's just throw my camera onto the floor. If you stop filming me, I'll stop filming you.
תצלמי כמה שאת רוצה, לא נשים לי את זה בפנים, למה אני אפתח את זה עוד
He just threw the camera?
He just threw my camera on the floor because it makes him feel powerful.
Violence.
Yeah.
Imagine something office.
To your manager, please. It's on behalf of the Palestinian people, basically asking HSBC to end their complicity with Israeli war crimes and to cease services to POD systems and to Caterpillar and thus that will mean that you are complying with international law. So please can I leave this with you, which gives you some information on the subject. If you could hand that to your manager, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
אתה לא מתבייש, תגיד לי? אתה לא מתבייש? אתה לא מתבייש? אנרכיסטים שנלחמים בחיילי צה"ל, זה מה שאתה נותן להם פה הדרכה בחברון ומלווה אותם? ואתה לא מתבייש לבקש עזרה מהחיילים פה שילוו אותך? תתבייש לך. Have a good day, guys.
Always a pleasure.
Have a good day.
And this is the thing, is that, and not only that, but they went silent. So when I asked, so recently when we had a Twitter storm for Issa, who I know we're going to talk about, I sent a tweet out to every single member of our Progressive Party, and I sent a tweet to Deputy Morale and Senator Pallet, asking them whether they'd issue a statement of support for Issa, a UN formally recognised human rights defender who's a subject of an amnesty campaign. You know, there's no question about this. He spoke at the UN Security Council, and he's got a lot of support, including from liberal Zionists. He's known as the Palestinian Gandhi, and I think given a lot of encouragement to do that, but only after after Deputy Morale and Senator Pallet tweeted in support.
Only two?
No, so only those two, but only one of the progressives, and only after pressure. So Sam Mezek, Monty, and I got a lot of respect for Monty, but all the other members, not one of them tweeted in support. Even though the UN's released a statement, even though it's an amnesty campaign, even though he's not a grey area for discussion.
Yeah.
He doesn't have or maybe this could
just so people understand exactly who we're talking about, excuse me. Issa Amru, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how you pronounce it. Is a Palestinian activist who advocates non-violent resistance and civil disobedience to fight Israeli occupation. He's been harassed, beaten, arrested, and is now being indicted by the Israeli military courts. In 2013, United Nations Human Rights Council expressed concern for his well-being after numerous arrests and continued harassment. He's only 40 years old. So you have someone who believes in non-violent resistance and civil disobedience, someone who is open every day. I've seen a few videos of him and, the stuff that he does. Genuinely a good man, like, to say the least, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's put his life on the line, literally. And yet no one can back him.
One of our Progressive Party after pressure, but only after two other politicians tweeted in support. And this is what I'm saying, is that we've got a situation where people don't have the courage to stand up. And if the people, and I always say, the true value somebody holds when it becomes difficult to hold them. That's when you know where someone's at.
This is the thing.
This is a paramedic! Paramedic that was killed with her hands up, trying to give treatment! First aid treatment to somebody dying! And she was shot, a paramedic, with her hands up! This is what you're enabling, all of you!
But the thing is that how do bad things happen in life? It's
By
because people allow them to happen.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, is like, this is what makes me laugh. When we look at McCarthyism, and I remember watching a movie years ago about McCarthyism, when the Reds under the bed, with the everyone was a communist and the witch hunt and all the rest of it. And people accept that was wrong and go, McCarthy was terrible, and yet we're having the same thing now, and people aren't batting an eye on it. And the same people, and that's when you know where people stand, is when it counts. Because it's easy when nobody's attacking you. It's easy to say, Palestinian should have rights, children shouldn't be sexually abused and tortured in prison.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that. You know where somebody's values are at is when there's a price for you to pay for it.
So you see here, this is some teachers standing at the checkpoint. The lady there with the pink headscarf, her name is Nora. She was the headmistress for the school that we mainly focused on, which is a school called Cordoba School, which was on Shihada Street. And you can see another teacher standing behind her, and just between the bars is the teacher that I'm referring to. Now, it's not this situation that led her to tell me she was scared. This is a normal everyday scenario that they find themselves in, where they're waiting at the checkpoints for the Israeli military to open the checkpoint so they can go through and head to the school where they'll be teaching that day.
And that's the thing, and that's why, like, for me, I don't care what labels. So what? You call me an anti-Semite, your words mean nothing to me, because I know where I stand. I know that my stance is supported by international law. Even if it wasn't, it's about morality, but it's supported by international law.
It's supported by anyone with any sort of integrity at all.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
You know, so...